This potential ceasefire between Israel and Iran has come about in the last few hours. Is that surprising to you?
Thanks for having me, Mel. Yes, it's very surprising because only a few hours ago, Iran launched retaliatory attack on the U.S. base in Qatar, and before that, President Trump was talking about regime change in Iran. Now, all of a sudden, Trump is talking about ceasefire. This is surprising, but it could be an opportunity for Iran to save face because earlier Trump was asking Iran for an unconditional surrender. Now he's talking about a ceasefire and end to the conflict. So this could be an off-ramp for Iran to take and save face and not admit that it's been defeated.
We've just seen moments ago a statement from the Iranian foreign minister that no agreement has been made right at the moment. But what do you make of this possible ceasefire sort of coming about hours after the Iranian attacks on the US base in Qatar and from that statement from the Iranian foreign minister?
Well, as we speak, there are aerial attacks on Iran, and there are reports of explosions in Tehran and anti-air fire. So Iran feels that it continues to be under attack. From the Iranian point of view, given that Iran did not start the war, given that Israel launched the attack about 10 days ago to torpedo the discussions between Iran and the United States over Iran's nuclear program. From the Iranian point of view, an end to the conflict would be welcome, but Iran cannot admit that it's been defeated. So that's why we see the foreign minister from Iran saying the terms are not acceptable because the terms of the ceasefire actually asks Iran to stop firing against Israel and giving Israel about 6 hours or so before they stop firing. So the terms seems to favor Israel, and that's why the foreign minister is signaling that they wouldn't accept capitulation.
You've been watching Iranian TV this morning. It's still, of course, very early in the morning there, but how is this war being reported at the moment?
Well, the war is actually playing very much going according to the Iranian narrative of the United States being a global bully and a hegemon, trying to muscle its way into the Middle East and imposing its will on the people of the Middle East, especially the Iranian people. So the Iranian narrative of revolution, standing up against the United States, this narrative of resistance against Israel is being repeated over and over again. And that's how it's being depicted.
What do you think is happening behind the scenes? We've been hearing reports of back-channel negotiations taking place. What do you think is happening there?
Well, it's almost impossible to know what's happening behind the scene, but what I think is very certain is that from the Iranian perspective, this has hardened their resolve to pursue a hardline approach in relation to Israel and relation to the United States, that there is little stock, they put little stock in negotiation and reform. In relation to Iran's domestic or international policy. So I think this is probably a big blow to the reform movement in Iran. And we've already heard that Iran is contemplating exiting NPT, the non-nuclear non-proliferation treaty. And we have heard talks of Iran developing its own nuclear weapon. So there is now more incentive for Iran to actually turn towards a nuclear bomb. So this would be a big blow to the Israeli agenda and the US agenda, because they started this war to prevent Iran from building a nuclear bomb. And now Iranians are openly discussing it.
We had been seeing reports overnight of Israel widening its attacks beyond potential nuclear sites. What do you make of that approach?
Well, Israel is showing that it can hit any target it wishes to. It's a show of might. Israel has a commitment effectively to regime change in Iran, especially under Netanyahu's leadership. Israel sees Iran, the Iranian leadership, as an existential threat. It has been pursuing that line, and I only expect that Israelis would continue pounding Iranian targets and undermining the regime's stability.
So where does this leave the Iranian regime at the moment, do you think?
Well, as I mentioned, I think we see a hardened resolve among the hardliners to resist, using their terminology, American pressure, Israeli pressure, perhaps explore the nuclear weapon option and exiting NPT. That's very sad for the Iranian population because there were hopes of reconciliation. The talks between Iran and the United States prior to the Israeli attack were raising hopes that Iran could come out of isolation and life could be returned to normal a bit. But now we have gone back.